Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
He wasn't black. He wasn't Latino. He wasn't Asian. He wasn't a person of color. He was homegrown. He was white.
Charlie Kirk shooter has been found and the internet is not here for it. Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? You guys, Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So updates on the Charlie Kirk shootout. The shooter has been found and now everybody's talking about it. If you don't know, just barely 24 hours after the news broke out that Charlie Kirk was killed or was unalive, there was a lot of unrest because a lot of people, a lot of the Conservative Party thought that this is probably coming from the liberals or probably it's a black person. Like there's a whole lot of speculation. It was even so intense that a lot of black colleges was shut down because they were getting threats by the other side. So a lot of speculation was coming out that, oh, there was it. Even you could see there was a protest going on of some new nurses on the street. I don't know which state it was that, saying that white men fight back.
White men fight back! 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 White men fight back!
Literally, the Conservative Party, personally, I feel like they felt like it was the liberals that did it. But anyway, now there's updates on who did it. It's actually a 22 years old white man from Utah, and his family was the one that called the cops, the FBI, to give him up. And there's a whole lot of conversation about his identity, about people either they are surprised that he's a white young man, or some people like it's not from the Liberal Party, it's not a black person, it's not an immigrant and all that. So anyway, guys, well, let's go at the FBI kind of break down the shooter, how they found out, and some of the things that was found, and some of the inscription and some backstory about it. Let's go check it out. And also before we check out, it was really interesting to also find out that the head of the FBI too was also shocked that the shooter came from Utah, that it's one of them.
For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for.
Because he said in one part of his speech saying that I'm surprised that I was hoping that this would not be one of us. I was hoping it was someone that came from outside, someone else that did the shooting. But yeah, anyway, guys, let's go check out the press release about the shooter and people's reaction to it, because everybody's talking about it, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left a rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. It was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 .30-06 caliber bolt-action, a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this?" ? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
The Charlie Kirk shooter is not trans. It's not an immigrant or a person of color or any of the premature labels that MAGA gave him before he was even arrested, before we even knew anything about him. But if you went to some of these MAGA influencer pages over the past 24 to 48 hours, you would have thought that they had him all figured out. You know, they were saying it's some blue-haired, crazy liberal who drives an electric vehicle everywhere or whatever crap that they were saying. But they had no idea, and we have no idea. To me, and I'm just speculating here, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, it looks like a case of radicalization. This looks like a young man who grew up in a Republican family in a conservative state, who had a lot of access, who found himself too deep in internet culture, going down those dark rabbit holes and becoming crazy and doing something tragic because of that insanity. I don't know if this is left-wing or right-wing radicalization. I genuinely don't know. We don't know. Nobody has any idea yet. Authorities have not said anything about it. But man, what a sad situation, and it's so frustrating to see people in this space, the political space, especially on the right, pretending to know everything about this guy and the motive. Come on, man.
Charlie wanted to start this entire rebellion with an "oh woo." That's right. No one was expecting it to be a MAGA Mormon who was behind this whole thing. Why do we know this? Because the governor of Utah and the director of the FBI just held an entire press conference to tell us straight-faced that not only have they arrested this 22-year-old MAGA Mormon, but they found the shell casings, and guess what? He wrote on them. What was written on these shell casings? We have 3 different phrases here. I'll number them for you to make it easier. But the fact that this poor governor was not told by anyone on his team how to correctly pronounce OWO, which is "oh woo," this isn't just a saying. There's a whole song about this, and it's a love song. That's the only part of that song I can share with you because it's kind of an explicit love song. If that's not weird enough for you, let me break down what the "Oh Bella Chow" is. This is also a love song. Don't believe me? This is the next verse in that song. Oh, partner, I want to go with you because I feel like I'll die here. Keep in mind, I am only stating the facts as I have found them, but we're not done yet because there's still one more phrase. If you read this, you are gay. Laughing my ass off. If the level of shocking irony was not already at a level 10 with this whole thing before we even found out about this 22-year-old Mormon, what he allegedly wrote on these shell casings, there is currently a protest going on in California by neo-Nazis related to Charlie Kirk at that college, and guess what they are chanting? White men fight back. Not realizing that the person who is behind this shooting was one of their own.
Now that they've caught the alleged, I'm going to say this so we can all move on. Y'all are showing far too much compassion. And what did he say that made up emotion was? Empathy to a man who wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. Now that we see that there was a homegrown poster child for their party, the chickens came home to roost and everybody's in shock. I can't believe. That is none of our business. And before anybody says it, well, Ash, it's still sad because he was a husband. He was a father. He was a husband to a wife that probably had the same belief system that he had. And they were raising children that would live with the same ideology that they have, which means their children would be the same children that would try to unalive black baby. Move on. And stop saying he was a content creator. He's just a social media influencer. The moment he put money behind it, the moment he started to recruit other people so that they could help execute his plans, the moment that he tried to create political ties so he could run later on for some type of office, the moment he put activists behind his name, he ain't no longer just running his mouth. He is the people we need to stay away from. This topic needs to be left to them. Let them handle their own business. This ain't none of ours.
Let's be absolutely clear on who Charlie Kirk. He wasn't black. He wasn't Latino. He wasn't Asian. He wasn't a person of color. He wasn't an immigrant. He wasn't trans. He wasn't some outsider the right loves to scapegoat. He was homegrown. He was white. His name was Tyler Robinson, and he came straight out of Utah. He wasn't some radical leftist. He wasn't Antifa. He wasn't a progressive activist. The man was decked out in an American flag t-shirt. That alone tells you everything. Liberals don't dress like that. That's part of the conservative starter kit, straight down the line. And the evidence makes it even clearer. Investigators found an unfired round engraved with the words, "If you're seeing this, you're gay, LMAO." Nobody on the left is out here writing that. This kind of message is pure far-right culture. Juvenile, homophobic, straight out of their playbook. So the idea that the far left is somehow responsible, it falls apart the second you look at the facts. Which brings me back to what I said in one of my most recent posts. The right keeps crying out for vengeance. But vengeance against who exactly? Because this wasn't the left. This wasn't progressives. The evidence points right back at them. So are they going to keep pointing fingers at the liberals even when it makes no sense? Or are they going to finally admit the truth? That this was one of their own. The threat wasn't from the outside. The call came from inside the house.
What do you think the chances are that MAGA is going to apologize now that we know that was actually a Christian white male Republican? Yeah, it's basically zero, let's be honest with each other. Elon Musk called the left the party of murder. They were talking about how they needed to reinstitute the penalty. They were talking about how everyone who voted for Democrats needs to be labeled as a terrorist. They were saying that the Air Force needed to be sent to blue cities. That is the rhetoric that was just being labeled onto anyone who voted differently than them just 24 hours ago. Not to mention the fact that 7 different HBCUs had to put on lockdown because of threats that were coming into them. That was all before they even knew the identity of. These people are so bloodthirsty and absolutely maniacal that they were ready to start waging war on anybody who didn't vote the same way as them before even knowing the identity of the person. Do not let these people gaslight you for 1 second. thinking that you should feel bad or that your moral compass is broken because that you're not upset because Charlie Kirk is gone. Listen, these are the same people who've been watching a genocide go on, have said nothing, have been watching the police people in our streets, said nothing, watched the troops deployed into our streets, said nothing, watched Trump talking about having brown and black people being eaten alive by alligators, and they bought merch to support it. I'm not celebrating the fact that he's no longer with us, but you are not going to get one single percentage of me that is going to feel bad or mourn such a terrible person leaving this earth. The truth of the matter is that the country is probably safer today because his hateful rhetoric isn't being spewed anymore.
So I don't know how I feel about the person they're alleging was the shooter of Charlie Kirk. I know our government play a lot of games, and I know they lie a lot, and I feel like this was government-initiated, CIA top dog type of situation here, okay? I don't feel like a little college student did this at all. I feel like they gave us this and then they checked out all the boxes for us overthinkers to be able to shut us up. So here's the person that allegedly did it. And when we say, oh, no, that's not the guy, that's the fall guy, they're going to say, oh, no, he confessed to doing it. He confessed to doing it. We didn't accuse him. He confessed to doing it. So we can't argue with that. And I feel like it's a bunch of bull crap. Okay, I feel like they're lying to us and that this was a paid hitman who's on to his next mission in life, and that this kid is taking a fall and being paid very well to do so, him and his family. And then he's going to go in protective service and change identities and live somewhere else. And when this all blows over and life goes on, they're counting on people to just forget about it because we have small, short attention spans. And I don't believe that we're being told the truth. I believe that this was a paid hit by a professional, and that, there's nothing we can do about it but continue to spread the truth and do what Charlie Kirk did, was be unapologetic about what we believe. But at the end of the day, our government is full of flies and they lie all the time. And that's why you have people like us in the first place that are screaming from the mountaintops to try to wake people up from the things and the destruction of our government, because I believe that has something to do with that. And then I also believe that this guy there, legend, is a fall guy, and a guy who actually did it is a professional who's on to his next mission. And once this all blow over, they are betting on us to move on to the next scandal. But that's just my opinion. What y'all think? Let me know in the comments.
So let me get this straight. The Conservative Party, the grand old party, has been out in these streets for the last couple of days talking about this is war, we want a war, with the liberals, with the Democrats, for what happened to old Charlie. And it turns out Tyler, the man who popped Charlie, is one of y'all. Now break that math down for me. Y'all been out here wanting to incite violence against liberals. Was sure in your mind that Democrats caused this, and it was one of your own people. 1 + 1 not equaling 2 on this. Furthermore, just to show the level of incompetence running our government, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, headed by Kash Patel, didn't even find his brother. His family turned him in. And you got the FBI director today talking about some rest well, brother. I'll see you in Valhalla. What in tarnation is going on here? Ladies and gentlemen, we are run by fools.
Okay. Please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you guys think about this conversation down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. We are on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thought. And do you agree that, like the other sister creator was talking about, how this is a hoax? This is all like he's taking the fall, he's not the shooter and all that. Do you agree with that? Because I'm just giving it the side eye. But anyway, let me know what you feel about the shooter of Charlie Kirk. What you feel about it. Go down, like, you guys know how we do it here. But yeah, first off, it's really crazy that immediately after the shootout, there were a lot of threats that was that was passed or that was sent to black colleges, and the colleges has to shut down because of it, because it's just really crazy. Like, if even here on this channel, we've literally just said it, that the shooter will probably be a white man, like literally, because that's they are the ones that carry guns. They, especially people, the conservative party, they are the ones that are into and all that. So personally, to me, it wasn't a surprise to see that that was a young white male. It wasn't surprise to me. It was what was expected. All the in the US usually are white male. Usually they are from the conservative party that usually have access to pium pium. So I wasn't shocked, and the fact that people, like, there was something um the head of the FBI also said, was talking about how, I didn't put it in the clip because I didn't want this video to be too long. That was saying that he was shocked that it was one of them. That I was hoping that it was somebody that came out, it was somebody else, not somebody that it's from Utah, not one of them, literally. And we know what that means. White people. He was hoping that it wasn't a white person that did it. It wasn't a white male that does it, and for me, like, I feel like that's what the conservative party do. We're all hoping for, because or else why will white men be on the streets protesting, saying that white men fight back? Fight back to who? Fight back to, like, the person that laughing of you, one of you people's leader is also a white man like you. So who are you people fighting? Because black people are not in the mix, color people are not in the mix, immigrants are not in the mix, women are not in the mix. So who are you fighting? So, like, I just feel like this, all, like, that saying, they say you live by the gun, you die by the gun, like. And then the sister that was coming to talk about how it cannot be it, that this was a professional it, da 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 da. I personally, I don't think it's a professional it. Let me tell you something. I met this young man. He's now in his 30s, but he was showing me something. He said he learned how to pium pium at a very young age, and he could hit a bird that is flying at a very young age before he even turned 21. So I'm not surprised. I feel like people that are around Pum Pum and are teaching their children how to use Pum Pum from a very young age, they become really good at it. Like, so I don't even see why they're saying, oh, it has to be a professional, it's a sniper. No. This boy has been around since he was a baby, and he probably has been firing since he was a teenager. So why is it? So for me personally, I just feel like, even with the description he has on the distance, Bella Ciao Ciao. If you know that song is about let's go together, let's go together. So probably he's betting on it that if he takes his, just, this is my own thought too. This is my own thought. Like, if he takes his one of his idol with him, both of them will go and chow chow somewhere else and rest from this world and all that. And that could be it too. So it's really interesting that the conservative party in the US, they're trying to push it out on the liberals to say, oh, yeah, it's a hate. The people that usually presume or aura a hate is usually the conservative party. My personal opinion, like I will always say, is the conservative party. They are the ones that don't like feminists, they don't like gay people, they don't like black people, they don't like immigrants. They are the ones. So if they talk about somebody that we even instigate or do anything, so that's another thing. Like, as I feel like, as conservative, which I feel like this is not even going to change anything. They're still going to push out the rhetoric that they want to push out there. But these things, that this so much hate and grudges you people have towards other people and other group, is a ripple effect, because that's the only thing you will attract. When you have a lot of hate inside you, you can only attract hate. It is what it is. Like, anyway, guys, you guys let me know what you guys think about this entire conversation of this Charlie Kirk's caught. You guys let me know down in the comment section what you think. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go ahead and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.